Just technically not here for any of this.
Yeah. We'll start with that. How about that? That's a nice way of booting up.
You may be capturing.
So,
just capturing the wrong screen.
The last you remember.
Okay, so make it both.
You were with your new friends, or your new acquaintances at least. And
No.
it's kind of just playing through your head, you know?
Okay.
You have these hazy memories
Just figure out how to capture the other one.
of some strange, terrifying hybrid coyote-human creatures right before your very eyes. And it was real scary. It's got the big claws, it's got the sharp teeth. And oh my gosh, what's that? It's a tail. And that's when you're fainting. You can't remember anything past that point. That tail was all you could handle. Actually, handle. And as you just kind of, you know, wrestling to get yourself out of this sleep. You just overwhelmed by these images of like snapping jaws and tearing, you know, claws tearing flesh from bone, and fuzzy little tails in your armpit tickling you. And it just, it's horrifying, frankly. And finally, your eyes burst open. And you find yourself laid unceremoniously in a bed in what looks to be like the back room of a hospital. And you see this old woman reading a newspaper. It's like sitting in the corner of the room.
Hello?
And she immediately, when you say that, she drops the newspaper and grabs for some vaguely holy looking symbol that's tucked underneath her nurse's outfit. She says, "Heavens to Betsy! Be gone with the spirit. Leave this
I'm
place."
not a demon.
Yes. I know, but
I believe you, whatever you are. Something obviously inside you. Just leave. I'll get the priest.
So I'm good to go? Is this a hospital or?
Hospital. And then you kind of look around a little bit, and you notice that the wall that your head was facing, the wall that your back is to now, as you're opening up, is just full of these little shelves. Like it looks like just a bunch of pull-out drawers. And she's just stood there stammering. She says, "This is. I mean, it's the hospital, but this is the morgue."
Why the hell am I in the morgue? I didn't die. What?
I mean, listen. Doc Snuffins doesn't make mistakes.
But I didn't die though.
What do you call it when someone stops moving? Won't respond when we prick them in the fingers? Won't respond when we stick their hand in hot water? Doesn't even pee their hospital bed. You're dead.
Unconscious. My God, this place is a nightmare. I'm getting out of here.
I'm calling the priest. Sit down.
I'm seriously questioning your medical expertise now.
Questioning your heart beating expertise. Sit down.
Fine.
Okay, so after a few minutes, it looks like they have a priest on hand. Which, you know, all great doctors need.
Make sure that, your patients aren't rising from the dead.
Well, that, and, when they die, inevitably, it happens a few times a day. you have somebody there to do the last rites, make the family feel a little better. Maybe give off some malpractice suits for a little while. But yeah, eventually somebody manages to grab the priest. He comes down and he takes one look at you. Boy, I mean, I've never seen anything like this, but he looks a lot.
You treat humans normally, don't you?
I mean, I treat lots of. I wouldn't call it treating. I am just a priest. Here at Doc Snuffins, I've seen a lot of dead bodies. I'm quite familiar with different species and their various states of death. And, well, you've been down here for 2 months, and now I'm joking. I mean, I haven't seen a single maggot. By this point, they're all bloody and gross. I tell Doc Snuffins not to wait that long, but sometimes you get busy.
Well, thank goodness. I've just been unconscious.
Well, that's good news for you. And then he just kind of sidestepped his way out of the room.
I turned back to thank you for the bed, I guess. I'm gonna get going now, though.
She's still kind of she's got her eyes narrowed a little bit, and she's still holding on to that holy symbol. She goes, okay. If you ever need anything else, there's a doctor in the next town over.
Should have gone there in the first place, but... Okay.
Okay. So yeah.
I'm gonna head back to Gizmark to get my bearings.
Yeah, you were at least moderately familiar with the layout of Weatherby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then what the heck? You know what? You've been out of commission for a couple days. Roll me knowledge or anything else that you feel like would be good for time.
Knowledge local, I think.
Don't fail.
12.
I'm going to sleep for a lot longer than 4 days, by the way. There are soldiers everywhere. And there's a general ruckus, nobody's out really. The streets are pretty quiet. Groups of soldiers armed with shovel and building materials and people with clipboards running around everywhere.
Am I at least able to find my way back to Gizmark for some answers?
What did you get?
12.
12? Yeah, well, that's enough.
Okay.
Fine. There's one street.
There's a big sign that says Gizmark Expeditions Co. and you don't see it.
Yeah, so you find your way back.
Okay.
And yeah, Peg is just gonna look up as the little bell rings as you open half door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, I've been unconscious in the morgue. I don't know why I was in the morgue, but I think I fainted after that battle, that fight with the Whaerkeglas. But I'm back.
Are we present?
Yeah, if you wanted to make your way back, yeah.
Where's the morgue?
Oh boy.
Remind me what your name was again.
Flair.
Flair. Okay, Flair. I'm Dimitrii, if you remember, and this is Alakarr Don't answer that question.
Where's the morgue?
Don't answer the question. You already have one zombie. You don't need more yet.
I don't need
Zombies.
a zombie. I just need something else that I can only get at a morgue or by killing somebody.
Well, we have plans on fighting a big group of bandits.
Are you gonna tell me where the morgue is?
I'm not going to answer that question unless to avoid incriminating myself in whatever scheme you have.
It's fine. You
Easy
can
peg.
You can tell him. I'm sure that he'll find out one way or the other.
Fair enough. I point directions.
Cool. I start walking that way.
Peg.
No, Alakarr just straight up body snatching.
Peg, is Mr. Flair still part of Gizmark Expeditions?
Oh, well. I mean, he was only reported dead a couple days ago.
Why did everybody think I was dead?
Who'd you go to?
To
What?
be honest, I thought you had just, like, fainted from, like, battle stress or something. I had no
I
idea
think
that
that's what happened.
in the morgue. That doesn't make any sense. What kind of quack doctors do you have here?
Depends on which ones you go to.
Oh.
Did you go to Doc Snuffins?
That name does ring a bell, yes.
Oh boy, honey. He's a homeopath.
Ah, shit.
I do not know what this means. He likes other men? I do not...
It means if you need medicine or healing, don't go to this guy because he'll just give you some tea and tell you to feel better and think positive thoughts.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yes. A quack.
Yes.
No. Good to know. Well, you have arrived at a very convenient time. We have a very difficult job ahead of us, and unfortunately our fearless employer is out of town for a conference, so we have to deal with it ourselves. Kerrek, are you here or are you at your shop?
I'm at my shop.
Okay. Obviously, I'm still here, and you've seen Alakarr. We also have a new person joined the team. His name is Kerrek. He's over at his clothing store, I believe, right now, but you'll meet him later. Are you familiar with the surrounding areas at all?
What was that?
I'm talking to Flair.
So what was that then?
Are you familiar with the surrounding areas at all?
No, I'm new in town.
Ah, okay. Well, we had a meeting with, I'm sure you've seen all the soldiers in town. We've had a meeting with their general, trying to get them out of town, find them a place to build a camp, a fortification, and there is a promising spot near the river on the, is it Willow Bluffs?
Bound Bluff.
What was that?
The Bound Bluff.
Bound Bluff. Oh. Called the Bound Bluff. And we've negotiated a pretty good deal for our services in scouting the area for them. However, Gizmark did not get the chance to tell us that there is a large band of bandits currently residing there who outnumber us, I think, 5-1. So we have our work cut out for us. What is it you do again? Do you shoot? Do you stab? What do you do?
God, no. I just make things. I'm an inventor.
Oh, great, another one. Okay. Also, Spinthrift isn't here. I believe she is, I don't know, gathering materials or perhaps, I don't know what she's doing. Well, we'll be well equipped at least. What kind of things do you make?
Anything, any sort of mechanical contraption, magic items. If you need it made in either mechanical or magical, yeah, I can make it.
Okay. Well, we should wait for Kerrek and Alakarr to get back here, and then we can talk about the plans. I think we need to recon the area first, though. We need to see what it is we're dealing with. Feel free to pick a desk.
Yeah, I have a desk set up that has all my stuff on it.
Is your zombie by your desk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rand.
That guy right there, his name is Rand. Don't bother talking to him. He's not very talkative. He's kind of dead. Obviously, that desk over there with all the books and little mechanical components, that's Spinthrift's, and that one over there with some swatches of cloth, that one belongs to Kerrek, but all the other one, any other one is fine.
Wonderful.
Hopefully I described everyone's desk in an adequate way.
I have a question. Can Mage Hand...
Yep.
Can I cast spells through Mage Hand? Like, when they're touch attacks?
I believe you can.
So, like, Mage Hand can move up to 25 feet, and it can move up to 5 pounds of stuff. But I'm wondering if it can do touch spells.
There is a way to achieve that, but yeah, you have to like build specifically for it.
Okay, so it wouldn't happen probably at a level 4.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Oh. Was that Jordan saying something?
We can't hear Jordan.
Oh, I think I heard him. It was just really quiet.
Is he saying something? We can't hear him.
Can you try like rejoining the call?
We'll reload. We'll reload.
Are we good? We're good?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, perfect.
So what's,
Okay.
what's the verdict on
Since
it?
I got the time, I'm just gonna start building shit.
What's
Yeah,
the,
Gizmark isn't actually gone yet. He's here in the office. He's just
okay.
hacking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's kind of gonna pop his head out of his office. It looks like he's going to get something with a suitcase, and he sees flare, and it drops to the floor. Like the suitcase drops to the floor, and as it does, like one change of clothes and about 6 bottles of something roll out of it.
I smile
said,
and wave.
Flare. Better not be an insurance scam.
Did you, Gizmark, did you give him to, what was his name, Doc McGuffin or something or other? Did you put him there? They thought he was dead.
No. Listen. That's the only doctor in the area that the insurance will cover. I'm going to pay 5 gold a month for all of you.
You're... Don't ever send me to him again.
Coming out of your pocket then.
That is fine. Because a normal doctor won't assume I'm automatically dead.
It's kind of lucky that they didn't try to perform an autopsy on you yet.
Can I be at the morgue yet?
I spoke to them. Apparently, the only reason that didn't happen is because they were a little backlogged.
Got some ideas.
Too busy to cut you open.
Yeah.
Talk to. Ask around. See if I can get a better deal somewhere else.
Thank you.
Also, I explained the job that we have coming up to him already.
Job?
He says that he
I
makes...
think the proper term is massacre.
You have no hope.
Sure, who's gonna be massacred yet?
Well, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. You rise to the challenge and then you become better.
You know, I like your way of thinking.
If the odds are not in your favor, then you change the rules so that they are.
Okay. You know what?
We have to find a way to change the rules to gain the upper hand on this bluff bandit group or whatever they're called. I cannot remember because it's been 14,000 years since we've played this campaign.
Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't really have time to tell you all about who we're up against here.
I might be able to see what I can make.
Also,
at this point, Claire, just upon hearing, like, you know, the bandits and everything, he's going over to his desk and just going through blueprints and all sorts of different sketchbooks and stuff.
Yeah.
He's in full, like, crafter mode right now.
Okay.
I was Gizmark.
You guys want to hear about what exactly this place is?
I was actually thinking it would be prudent to go and scout the area ourselves to see what it is. It's one thing hearing about what the place looks like. It's another thing to actually see it for yourself.
I agree. I do have some information about them.
Yes. What
might be relevant.
What info do you have?
Okay. I'll break it down for you. So, the group that's been out there, they call themselves the Seven-Eyed Gang. Really, they got a lot more eyes than seven.
Oh, I was about to say, if they
But-
have 7 eyes between all 30 or so of them, then this job should be pretty easy.
Now, there are 7 eyes between the first 4.
Oh,
The original 4.
interesting.
Oh. I mean, let's just say that's the only way they're not trying to compensate for it. There are 4 bandits that hold up there a long time ago decided they were gonna become kind of a partnership of sorts. Usually these sorts of things fall apart pretty quick, but for some reason these guys have been able to keep together for quite a while. What you need to know about the original group. It started with a guy who calls himself Owlbear Tom Curran. Came here from a darn not too long ago. Well, it's been a while now, but he was a bruiser. Always has been. Always will be. And he managed to get his little brother. Nobody's really seen in a while. He calls himself Stingy Dave. There's good old Kansy Capson. Again, not really sure what he's up to these days. And then there's Two-Eyed Mo. So, they've been out in the middle of nowhere for a long time, harassing people over usually big shipments of something or other. Sometimes they'll try to disrupt railroad trains. Sometimes they'll just stick up nice-looking stagecoaches. Heck, sometimes they'll see something that they want on the passenger seat of some wagon. And they'll take everything. They're unpredictable. They're powerful.
Two-Eyed Mo sounds familiar.
They
Was
have
that
a
the
weird
one who
X-ray
took?
shot.
Was Two-Eyed Mo the one who took shots on us in that canyon?
No, that was. I mean, I didn't get a good look at him, but it had Mute Marv's fingerprints all over it.
That's what it was, right. Okay. And what's the estimate on their total group? How many people?
Nobody knows for sure. It's not exactly like they send census takers up there. Best guess I've got, probably 15 to 20.
Oh, okay. So not as bad as I thought.
Really?
They only outnumber us 4 to 1. Or 3. 3 to 4.
Well, the question is, it's been a while since anybody's been up there. Now, we're talking a couple of years, and these kinds of things, if the money's good, people roll in. Something that is kind of useful about this place is they don't just make their money from doing raids. There's what you might call industry there. Lucky for us, it's not exactly a safe industry. See, on top of turning over stagecoaches, for some reason, they got into the business of making lye for soap.
What? Well, they'll be the cleanest bandits we've ever fought, I guess.
Yes. Place stinks to high heaven. It's actually a good thing it's out of town. You don't really sell to people around here for obvious reasons. But, you know, lye itself is a dangerous chemical made up of a lot of other dangerous chemicals. Not to mention, they dug their operation into the crumbling side of a bluff.
So, Flair, how good are you at making explosives?
I can make a lot of different kinds of explosives. What kind are you looking for?
Potentially the kind to collapse a crumbling cliffside.
Ooh, let me see.
Why fight them when we can bury them?
Oh, good idea. Let me see what I can do.
This lye, is it volatile? Is it flammable? Or is it just like corrosive?
Let me look it up real quick.
I don't believe lye is volatile. Or
Not
Volatile. It's very corrosive. It's made of sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide.
yeah, it's a solution in water, so it's not
Yeah.
really flammable.
well, Dimitrii doesn't know that, so just corrosive.
Gizmark's just gonna kind of like shake his head a little bit. He's just like he's trying to kind of stifle it, but he's like, it's acid. It's just a lot of acid. Honestly, there are probably a few good ways to do it. That's the other thing. this whole business, it doesn't happen out in the open. They know they get burned down or firebombed or something. They're not stupid. So they've dug holes all underneath the bluff. But for anything I've ever seen, it looks like they're right up at the edge.
Well, I mean, they have the river at their back, so there's only so many exits that they could have. So, we get the terrain to do the fighting for us, I think. Of course, we'll have to talk about this more once Alakarr and Kerrek get here. And wherever Spinthrift is.
Yeah, sounds good. Hopefully they're back very soon.
Can we pan over to Alakarr knocking on the door of the morgue, or checking it out if there's if it's open, I can just go inside.
I mean, yeah, you walk up to Dr. Snuffen's clinic, and they've got a big sign that says like Dr. Snuffen's homeopathic medicine and snake oil. And
I'm gonna just
as you enter the building,
I'm gonna quietly, stealthily enter, trying not to be seen if he's not right there.
there's a back door too.
I'm gonna go through the back door then and see if that's where the bodies are.
Yeah, you kind of as you're walking up to the building, you see somebody you see a little puff of smoke come out from behind one of the corners of the building, and as you kind of sneak up, you see some mook. It looks like dressed in pretty typical hospital clothes, smoking a cigarette at the back of the building.
Cool. I'll go back through the front then.
Yeah. Well, no. He's as you walk away, or as you turn to walk away, you're like, dang it, that's busy. He throws a cigarette on the ground, stomps it out, and then walks through the door.
Through the back door?
Yeah.
I'll wait a moment and then follow him.
Yeah. So you catch the door before it closes, even if you want to.
Yeah.
And give me a stealth check real quick.
Okay. And then do we figure out, can I cast spells through Mage Hand or no? Either way, it doesn't matter.
No, you can't.
No.
Okay, alright, no worries.
I think there are ways to do it, but you have to take certain feats or something.
Okay.
She got a 13.
13? Okay. Yeah, you see this guy, he's muttering under his breath as he turns the corner to the right. And there's just a little, the hinges squeak as the door closes all the way behind you. And then out of, it looks like more out of reflex than anything. The guy kind of starts to pull back around the corner. And then you see his shoulders slump and he just stops and he walks off.
Oh. Am I in a room with some bodies?
Right now you're in a hallway.
Okay.
It looks, you're not super familiar with doctors. They're kind of a new profession. And, you being basically, more or less immortal, whatever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't really frequented doctors, but to real world now time Jessica, it looks pretty familiar.
I'm gonna go ahead.
There's just kind of a hallway on the side, and you see a big sign that says operating room to the right, and then medicine cabinet this way, and it says stairs to lower levels this way, and then under lower levels it says like basically there's like one bullet point that just says morgue.
I'm going there. I think Alakarr would do this instead. He would cast Detect Undead to know exactly where in this building there is undead.
Undead?
There's no undead.
Well, or sorry, not oh, you know what? Hang on. Dead. Hold on.
Detect.
It would oh frick, never mind. Yeah, no, that would be bad. Because they're not undead. They're just dead.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. I'll go
Yeah,
with
straight up
I'm gonna go down the stairs to the morgue.
Yeah. You tiptoe your way through. You hear, a couple of conversations. Some slight moaning coming from one room, but nothing that causes immediate concern.
I see
And then
bodies.
this place has probably about 5-6 hospital beds. It doesn't look like they see very many patients. Like if you had to guess, they'd see maybe 30 or 40 a week.
Is there anybody on these beds? Like dying people?
I mean, somebody having a conversation.
Okay, so there's two people on a bed having a conversation, or there's one person on the bed talking to a doctor kind of person.
You can't see inside, but it's two people having a conversation.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna walk in.
Okay. You open the door. Are you wearing your battle outfit?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk in in full battle regalia.
I don't have any.
The old woman.
I just have a cloak.
Well,
I don't have any armor.
Well,
I'm
right.
sure
Yeah, you're not really
I'm sure
armor.
there's blood on it though.
Yeah, just it's true.
It's tattered.
It's hardcore. It's just not necessarily fighting hardcore.
Yeah.
So you open the door, and the older woman sitting there just kind of lets out a little shriek. And she says ah! Are you the nurse?
Yes.
Okay.
What are your symptoms today?
Well, I mean, I feel like we've already gone over that. What were the test results?
I'm gonna go over and touch her. And I am going to cast Detect and Identify Diseases and see what's wrong with this.
Diagnose disease?
Yeah, diagnose disease. I can detect and identify diseases. And I will diagnose her.
Does the spell work?
Huh?
You just no? Or
I touch it and then it's instant. I know what sort of disease, infestation. If there's a disease present, I know what the disease is and its effects.
yeah, this lady's not looking great.
What's ailing her? What's her? Is she gonna die?
Oh yeah, it's gonna take you, but yeah, she's got cancer.
She's got cancer. I cannot lie. You are going to die.
Wow, and you rhymed, of course.
You mean that's, of course, without proper medical attention, right?
Nope.
Which is true.
There's.
Now you're just kind of fucked.
Who's the other
Because
person?
she could-
Who's the other person there?
She could probably recover from this pretty easily, but without medical treatment, she will die.
Who's the other person there?
Wait.
Right? You said there were two voices?
That was a different room, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and... Is she technically dying?
I mean, we are all dying.
Like, not really. She's not really dying much more than you or anybody else really is.
Oh, okay, alright. Well, I'm just looking at... for the morgue. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and resume my duties.
You just walk in, you're gonna die. Walk out.
Have a nice day.
What bedside manners?
Alakarr, there are no bedside manners.
I mean, honestly, the lady's just lucky Alakarr didn't put her out of her misery.
I didn't want to kill her. I'm looking for someone who's already dead. I'm gonna keep walking.
Yeah, this lady's just kind of speechless. Like, she doesn't know what to think.
If there is a room that doesn't have the talking people into it, I want to go in there first to see if there's, like, a corpse. I'm trying to find a corpse.
Okay. There's one room at the end of the hallway, and you don't hear anything coming from it. Roll me a perception check, though.
Yeah. Okay. What do I perceive?
What do your elf eyes see?
I'm trying to be quick, but this is a lot of fun. Oh, crap. I am average. 10.
It's not too hard to hear. Right as you're about to open the door, hear some, like, muffled talking on the other side. You actually make out just a little bit of it. Think about, like, oh, that's another one, Dave. Keep up the good work. Then you hear another voice answer, just goes, and you're not really sure what they said.
What? Okay, well, I'm not going in that room. I'm going to the room that has no talking.
Well, that is the room that you thought had no talking.
Oh. Well,
Right at the last second you told talking.
I'll go ahead and, with my... I'll stand back a little bit, and with my mage hand, kind of open the door creepily.
As you step back, the door actually does open.
Oh, great. Who's there?
You see a man in a big white robe looking thing. Step through, he's got all these fancy buttons and, like, this odd thing around his head.
Can I see into the room?
And what was that?
Can I see into the room?
Roll me another perception check. Because he's kind of trying to, like, slip in and out. He's not really opening very hard.
All that is good in this world, let it be a dead person.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
What do I see? What do I see?
What do your elf eyes see?
Oh, yeah, what do you see? You see the man described, and he's trying to kind of, like, as he recognizes that you're there, he tries to place himself more in front of the door. You notice 2 feet hanging off the end of a table. You also notice a very, very large necrotized thing trying to pluck this whatever it is off of the table, like leaning over to grab it. Like it looks like just some large mound of, like, stitched together flesh trying to lift what looks like a person off of this table.
Oh, sweet.
I'm looking for my grandfather. Is he in here?
No. That's just one of our younger patients. He's not feeling well. Can't let anybody in. What's your name?
No, please. I'm looking for my grandfather. I'm sure he's here. Please let me in. See if I can push.
We don't have any grandfathers. Strict no grandfather policy. I'm gonna need you to leave.
Can I try to push past?
You can try, yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. A strength, I guess.
Well,
Or
I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah, I guess it would be like a combat maneuver. Or a bull rush, maybe?
SEMB.
Yep.
19.
Wow.
Okay. Well, the frail, like 40-year-old doctor, who's,
Frail.
in runner's shape, kind of just like falls out of the way as you muscle your way into this room. And as you push past, you hear him yell, "Dave, get her!"
Him. Do I see the
This
body now?
enormous mound of flesh. What was that?
Do I see this body now? Like, what is it?
Well, there's one body, and then there's another body trying to pick up that body.
Oh, yeah.
There's just this humongous, like, yeah, there's a nice dead body, and Alakar's into that sort of thing. So
Yes.
it stands out pretty prominently. But it's very much literally and figuratively overshadowed by the 10-foot tall hulk of whatever it is standing over it.
I'm gonna try to command undead. It needs. I believe it needs to do a will save.
Okay. Even though it doesn't have a normal will score, right?
Okay. I mean, if it's undead.
Yeah, saving throw will negates.
Yes. Well, I know some undead don't have a will score, but they still get a will save on certain things. Oh boy, you caught me improvising.
I'm sorry! This was meant to be an in and out thing. I wasn't expecting to run into people. That's how we.
I mean, not living people.
I don't know if. So, charisma check? What I just rolled?
No. That's to give orders. It has to try to resist the spell first.
Oh, okay.
It should be the caster level.
Plus
Or the
my
spell level plus your
EAP?
No. What do you use? No, cleric uses charisma casting.
Yeah.
So it's your charisma modifier plus the spell level plus 10.
Okay.
Which, why did you
No.
all of your
No.
stuff?
Justin and Jordan and I had arrangement, so it's actually.
Finding anything.
Oh, wisdom.
Yeah, it'll be a wisdom check. So my modifier plus this
Your
plus
modifier plus the spell
10.
level.
So it's got to be beat a 16.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's
Oh.
gonna be kind of nice to me and not try to hurt me.
That is without another necromancer trying to command it, right?
That's true.
Because I think there are rules about that.
Necromancer Smackdown. I mean, in order for her to give orders. Oh, is this a non-intelligent undead creature?
Let me see here. I don't know yet. Oh, here it is. I think I found it.
If it's not intelligent, there's no saving throw against this spell. He's just mindless.
Just automatically.
Yep.
Oh, you said you rolled a 15?
It'll be a 16 is my will. Or
The
my
DC.
That's not.
the will negate the thing to. Sorry, the.
That's not right. It is not a carrying beast. Let me find this thing. I don't remember what it's even called.
Guys, there's something nefarious going on in this town.
I do. You know what? I don't even think this is technically undead.
Is it a flesh golem?
There's a different name for it.
Okay. Because if it's a flesh golem, then it's just a construct.
Carrying golem?
Carrying golem, yeah.
I don't think those classified as undead.
I believe
any
any golem is classified as a construct.
I think you're right. There might be something else here, but let's find out. It's a construct, yeah.
Okay, I'm just seeing that the spell doesn't work. I'm just gonna run. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong place. I'll leave.
Yeah. Well, the good doctor's gonna try to trip you on your way out. Of course.
The good doctor. What's my? Do I have to do another CMB?
No, it's his. He's rolling CMB against your CMB.
Oh, okay. Nope, mine's 15. I jump.
You managed to hop off his foot before he catches you. And he just shouts, "Get back here!"
I'm gonna run out of this place.
Okay. Believe it or not, you don't have much trouble outrunning the shambling mound of decaying flesh.
Just abort the mission. And I'm gonna run back to Gizmark's place.
That's a good question.
Yeah, what's the question?
Doesn't a failed trip attempt without the improved trip feat end up tripping the person who made the trip attempt?
Maybe. We can say that, yeah, he's on the ground.
Oh, so
His face plant shaking his fist at you.
That's great.
As you run out the door, you hear him shout something about, like, "You and your grandpa can never come back."
Yeah, I'm out. I'm just gonna casually walk back. Well, I'm gonna run back, but then casually walk back inside and just sit down next to Rand. What'd I miss?
Oh, Alakarr. Whoa, you talked to Rand, or were you talking to me?
Rand doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk yet.
Even if you don't talk to Rand, he will try to respond.
I'm just talking to Rand. Actually, I can cause him to babble, but I'm not gonna.
What was that?
I have a spell that causes him to babble, but it doesn't work. Once I get higher level up, I can actually ask questions, but yeah. Undead don't really talk.
Interesting.
Wait, is Rand the undead that was at your desk?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm at my desk working on building stuff, and I'm just going to turn to you to say, quick question. If I need a test dummy.
Yeah. On what?
Do you mind if I borrow your friend?
What do you
Just in the future in general.
Test for what?
I honestly have no clue, just if I need a test subject.
Well, if you break it, you buy it. So you destroy him, I'm going to need another corpse to repay for that. So yeah, you can. As long as you help me get another one to replace him.
You know that's fair. Deal.
Great. Deal! I like you.
Currently I'm working on, so Tuff, I'm making my invention, the continuous bellows.
Okay.
It takes a full day to complete, and it will be a DC 10 to make.
Okay. A continuous bellows.
Oh no, it's nothing on the website. It's literally just my own invention.
Yeah, we've talked about it, I think, right?
Yeah, it's basically like a blacksmith bellows, but instead of having to be manually pumped, it just continuously blows air like normal.
Yeah, like a an air, like a fan.
Basically, it's an automatic bellows for blacksmiths.
Noah.
Okay.
Noah, is your character in here?
Not yet. Can we cut to me at my shop real quick?
We gotta go to your shop.
If you want to.
Yeah, so basically, after the whole meeting with them, I went back to my shop, called a meeting with my 4 assistants. I've been working on some sketches and like schematics for all of the uniforms that the guards are wearing. And I'd like to... What was that? The soldiers, yeah.
Like the soldiers?
Okay. I'd like to kind of get my assistant on board with starting to produce some like prototype lines of slightly modified in what I see to be a better way, the soldiers' uniforms. In an attempt to acquire some new business. And then after I'm done with that, I'll send 3 of them out, keep in the 1 assistant who had kept the 1 soldier from like trampling all over the property. And give a few more like instructions regarding if that situation repeats itself.
Okay.
And like
Cool.
basically go over the legal document that they had and like what that entailed and like what to look for and that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then after yeah, what was that?
So she seems to get it right away. So look after anything.
Alrighty. After that, I'll head over to Gizmark. I'm also gonna, because I still have that original document, I'm gonna store that in a safe in my room.
Okay,
Then,
yeah, perfect.
Then head over to Gizmark.
Alright. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. There's a new guy there. He looks like he's on fire, but he's not.
Is that the only description I get?
I'll let him introduce himself.
I can't hear you.
There we go. Forgot to flip down the thing. So my guy is, like you said, on fire because I'm an ifrit, and everything around me, like my desk is cluttered with tons of different magical items, magic item creation tools, little mechanical doodads. Everything is very neat and organized very nicely, but there's a lot going on. Also, right next to my desk is a tumbleweed.
Oh, right. I forgot about the tumbleweed.
The tumbleweed.
The freaking carnivorous tumbleweed.
You notice Peg has a little bowl of water and like dog food next to your desk?
Nah, it normally just cleans up the mice of the building.
How tall
Wasn't eating.
Fairly tall. Let me quickly check. My height is 6'2".
Okay. Alright. Yeah, so you see a very, like, finely dressed, like almost in clothes, like, too nice for such a ramshackle town. 3'10" rat stroll into the establishment.
Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention with my character. White fur, okay. That's the other thing about my character. I'm wearing some very nice pants and shoes, but I'm completely bare-chested otherwise.
Okay.
But yeah, I see you walking, and I just, like I always do, just smile and wave, and you can see I'm working on building something.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, you must be the new guy, Kerrek?
Yes. Pleasure to meet you. Your name?
Flair.
Keep that in mind.
Cool.
You see me kind of like study you a little bit more, jot some things in a notebook, and then head into my office.
Just have a desk.
What was that?
Kerrek, you're back.
Just have a desk here.
Kerrek,
Just
you're
have to
back.
ask what?
We need some planning.
Oh, you only have a desk here.
I only have a what?
A desk, not an office.
Desk. Gotcha.
A desk. Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
I'll go over to my desk then. Also, Jordan, just to let you know, I've been basically gauging measurements for all of the people in
Okay.
this group.
So when it comes time to break out like the Avengers style suits, you got ready.
Or thereabouts.
My character's going to speak up again and just say, so, I was told you're kind of a craftsman, you make clothes and stuff?
Yes, that's correct. Are you against wearing shirts?
No, it's just hot out.
You know what's hot when the ifrit says
Says the guy whose head is on fire.
Yeah.
Yo, Kerrek,
Yes.
do you need some more clothes for your job? I mean, Rand's not really using his if you needed them.
Alakarr, I do not think he is
the
that
guy who
desperate
doesn't
for
know
clothes.
the
I
What was that? I couldn't hear that.
yeah. Do you want them? Do you want these clothes?
I think I'm fine. Thank you for the offer, though.
All right.
Yeah, you look at them. They're obviously covered in like nasty, like viscera, and haven't been
Yeah.
in a few months before then.
Have we gotten any more information on the job?
Yes. Yes. Gizmark was telling me about the group that is up there. They're called the Seven Eye Gang. Although there are more than 7 eyes in it, it's just there were 7 eyes in the founding 4, something like that. They are holed up in the Bound Bluffs with a little warren of caves and tunnels. Apparently they make a living on, typical banditry type stuff, but they also produce lye for soaps.
DM. As a clothier, would I be pretty well versed in the properties of lye, since it's used for dyeing extensively?
Yeah, you would know what it is and
what to
how
avoid
you
putting
use
in it?
Could assume that you've had enough run-ins with it. Probably. Well, actually, roll. What would that be? Knowledge something.
Or would it be my
I guess you could roll your
profession?
profession.
Yeah.
Profession.
Yeah, just roll your profession.
I just realized to put my profession into perform accidentally, but this is what it is.
Alright.
I'll change that.
Yeah. You know there are plenty of things you don't want to drop in there.
Yeah.
Baking soda, bad deal.
Also, tin and other metals.
Dropped a needle in there one time and it did
Also,
not
tin buttons
go
on
well.
clothes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyway,
Actually, tin won't really easily make a lot of sense.
it's been several years since
buttons or tin bluntly. Sorry, go for it.
It's been several years since anyone has gone up there, but at last count there was 15 to 20 of them. Of course, that could well be more now. I did have the thought, though, that Flair is here, and he says he's capable of making quite a various array of explosives. That the cliffside is not the most stable. If we could collapse it on them, then we don't need to fight them. Or at least not have to fight the bulk of them. I'm sure they have scouts or sentinels around on the bluffs, but... Yes.
Do you know of anywhere we could acquire a relatively sizable amount of tin?
Well,
There's a prospector in town that sells rocks. Maybe he sells tin.
maybe.
I can
That might
show,
be worth checking out.
I can show you the
You can
link.
roll knowledge. Anybody can.
Knowledge what?
Prospector Pete.
Knowledge prospector.
Got a 17.
Yeah, there are a few different places. I mean, tin is a major component of brass, so it's not particularly hard to
Brass works as
find.
well.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
we're all carrying
So,
brass on us
I
right
mean-
now.
What was that?
We're all carrying brass on us right now.
That's true. Actually.
Did they use brass for bullet casings back then?
They've used brass for bullet casings as long as there's been bullet casings.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Because
So
it's-
that means basically everybody's pockets are loaded with
Pretty
brass.
much,
true.
it's
And
inexpensive
a few of you-
and corrosive.
People who specialize in making weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet Spinny has a bunch of it too.
I'm sure Spinley has quite a lot. Wherever she is.
And Gizmark kind of like, he does the... Gizmark does this little... Yeah, she charged me an arm and a leg for it too.
Well, you probably
It's over
wouldn't.
there.
You
He just
probably
points at like a big pile
A big pile of what?
of bullet casings. Spinthrift loads her own bullets all day.
Yeah. That pile of bullet casings might actually work.
Well, if she misses them, we could always. If she misses them, we could always just buy her some new ones, or give her the ones that we use.
I have a dozen cases on the way.
Yeah. I'd like to
I think it'll be fine.
explain to everyone that like I was working with Lai early on. Towards the evening, and I had some like lantern light, like open lanterns nearby, and dipped a shirt that had like brass or tin buttons into the Lai, and pretty quickly after there was a bit of a small explosion.
So you're saying we go to their lie, we find their lie, dump a bunch of brass in it and cause an explosion?
Near an open flame.
So like their fire pit.
Actually, if we coated if we covered the surface of the Lie in an oil and lit that aflame, and then dumped the brass in, that would probably work even better.
I bet you Spinny has bombs for
It might be a
days.
I can. One idea I have. So, in physics, there's this wonderful thing that if there's an explosion, but it's within an enclosed space, for one, you drop the explosion into the amount of force done to whatever's inside there, a lot better. I might be able to whip up something that can make a wall of force. I can drop them against that wall, find a way to jump it, and then
The problem I have with that is then we now have to either fight or sneak our way into their base, find their lie, which is probably heavily guarded, and then tamper with it.
Problem I have with it is it's a bit conspicuous to light some lie on fire.
That too. I mean, my plan already was to blow up the hillside, which is even more conspicuous, but...
Oh, but that doesn't take
You,
10 minutes.
Tailor, why don't you?
Last thing we want to do is go back to it.
Why don't you, Kerrek, just make us uniforms that make us look like we're part of the group?
I need to see what their uniforms look like first, but that wouldn't be too difficult.
Assuming they have uniforms.
Or
I don't know
whatever
how it works
clothes.
here, but back home it was just whatever ragtag armor they could find. Usually covered in bloodstains or sword cuts or...
Then we do that, and we blend in.
I
and sneak our
I
way.
also then gesture to Flair and myself and be like, oh yeah, I'm sure with the right uniform we would fit in great.
Yeah.
He has a point.
We don't all need
Maybe
to
we could form a union or something.
You're gonna vie for rights until you get a position in the workplace, and
Well-
then you'll just slowly move up rank until your management and dissolve the whole operation.
Exactly.
Yup, sounds like a plan.
Bandits. They might capture people.
Do you think they would capture people if we came in as bringing merchandise like you two?
I don't know, Gizmark, is this bandit group the kind that robs and leaves its victims alive, or is it the kind that leaves no witnesses?
Depends on what pays.
True, if they're
I think
available on
usually-
target, they might hold you for ransom.
That is true.
That seems like a
They've
very...
done it.
Okay, who here is worth the most?
Do they know Gizmark? Do
I-
they
what?
know Gizmark?
I'm guessing that he has an ex-wife, at least one in the group, so...
Listen, she quit a few years ago.
Oh wow.
That's not a bad idea if we use Gizmark as a gambling piece.
Yeah. Well, why don't we?
There is one that I can think of a few things that I don't like about that plan.
Well,
No.
You notice at this
no.
point that he's just been going around the office, pulling bottles out of different shelves, putting them in his suitcase.
We would use your name. We wouldn't use you. We would say like, oh, these people work for Gizmark, so Gizmark's gonna pay well to get them back.
You see, I like that a lot better.
If you have that kind of reputation with these type of bandits. I don't know.
Mm,
What do they like?
They hate my guts. You might not want to say you know me just for your own good.
they're bandits. They just steal valuables.
What if we just go lie and say we want to become bandits with them? And then infiltrate them.
Usually this kind of group doesn't really usually offer open applications. Usually they come to you. So you could try it. If you can talk fast enough, you might be able to work your way in.
I'm a fast talker.
It seems like these plans are getting riskier and riskier as we go along.
Why don't we just stake it out and see what their weaknesses are?
That is good. Good idea.
Learn something about them. How they get in, if they get out, when they're not paying attention, that kind of stuff. How many guards do they have? Is a rock slide really going to keep them in, or is there an exit that they can just go out? Rand and I are up for it.
Okay.
I stand up, and Rand tries to stand up.
So I've got that conference. I got a train to catch. So, yeah, see ya.
Alright, be safe. Don't get mugged or killed or anything. Otherwise, we'd be out of a job.
And update our insurance.
Looking into it.
Sense motive.
Go for it.
Kerrek.
What was that?
Kerrek, are you good at enhancing?
Boom, 22.
Enhancing.
Get around to it.
Get around. In enhancing certain clothing with like magic. Are you that kind of tailor?
That's not something I've really tampered with as of yet.
I could help you with that. If you make the clothes, I can enchant them.
That would work.
I'm just kind of looking for
Teamwork.
like a darker cloak that might protect me from unwanted attacks. Maybe a
I was
protection.
looking for a darker cloak that would protect me from being less badass.
It would give me more protection. Like a robe of protection. A cloak of protection. Can you do any of that yet?
I could whip up a cloak, but I'm not sure how protective it would be.
Armored cloak.
You can do like the Japanese, what is it, like the paneled armor.
Yeah.
Oh, the lamellar armor.
Yeah, lamellar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it's called in Pathfinder terms. That's right. Forgot it was already in the book. All right. You guys ready to move out?
I think so.
Yep.
Okay.
How much?
Oh, by the way, I got everybody new horses.
Oh, sweet. How much would it cost to get a cloak of protection here?
Assuming they have.
Oh boy. There's a table that tells you how to do see.
Oh, it's a cloak of resistance, is what it is. Just once.
Saving throws, though. It's only on saving throws.
Oh, not
It's
an
not-
AC.
Not
Okay.
armor class.
Ah, dang it. What's the
Jordan, you disconnected from the roll 20.
Like a ring of protection. I think,
Maybe
is
a
what
ring
you
of
mean.
protection.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't be. Okay.
Never mind.
That's weird.
I think I want a ring of protection is the better one. That's what I want.
Oh, or you can do a. The amulets of natural armor are pretty nice too, because they don't interfere with your normal armor.
I think
There's also bracers.
Spinny can make
Yeah, the bracer. The problem with the bracers is they take away your armor bonus.
The nice thing about the ring of protection is it's a deflection bonus, though.
Oh, it's a deflection bonus.
Oh.
So it's
Yeah.
That's nice.
it's pretty nice.
So,
Oh,
Spinny,
the cloak resistance is
assuming
saves. Okay.
Okay, so in order for you to get a +1 for it to be cast, someone needs to be able to forge a ring, and whoever's enchanting it needs to know Shield of Faith,
I think I'll just wait on Spinny. I'll
which I
ask her.
believe is a divine spell, not an arcane. So if anyone would know Shield of Faith, it would be you.
Oh, Frank!
You
I'm
don't
gonna start
technically need to
studying.
know the spell.
No.
There are ways
it
around
just,
that.
yeah, it just makes the DC harder.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I can make that, because that's a first level spell.
It is. Forge ring.
I can make that, it would be for me a DC 10.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, the construction requirements, are we going to go by those, Jordan, if you let me build this? Because then it's only $1,000 to build a +1 bonus to my AC.
You got the crafter on hand, so
Cool. I'm sure.
it would take some time though.
Yeah, it'd take me a day.
Sweet.
It's a day.
Start it. Let it begin. Do I have to pay Spinny this, or like?
No, not Spinny. You're paying Flare. He's
Flare.
the enchanter.
Flare can do.
Flare. How about we make a mutual arrangement?
Okay.
The next body that I find, you can have it. I'll enchant it, and you can do experiments on it if you make me this ring.
How about this? I'll make whatever you want. You just gotta shoulder the cost of making it.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
Well, there's no.
I don't have a lot of money either.
Oh, okay.
That's the cost of materials. Not like you have to pay a merchant to do that. It's the cost of materials.
All right. Yeah, I can. Yeah. I've got 1,000 gold.
So
I can
what-
spare. I'll go buy that. I'll go buy the materials and then come back.
Cool.
You could do a +2. No, you couldn't.
No,
It's
I can't.
4,000.
Nah, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go spend
That
1,000
will take time.
gold and then give it to Flair to study away on.
You guys gonna head out like right now, or are you gonna wait until this is over?
No, probably now.
We're only doing a recon. If that is the case, then Kerrek and I can go and scout it out.
And that'll give me time to craft stuff.
Yeah.
Just
While this conversation about the ring and stuff was going on, I started drawing out
ring of protection +1.
specifications for a reversible cloak that would fit Alakarr.
Okay.
Deflect +1.
Alright. Did you guys want to head out to the bluff like right now?
What time is it?
It's it's getting later in the day,
Yeah.
so it might.
It's 2:30 Pacific Standard Time.
Evening/night's gonna be the best time to get there. So.
Take it out at night and leave in the daytime or something.
I'll leave that to you guys. I'm gonna finish crafting.
Zach, can you say that you can finish crafting?
What exactly are you
Yeah,
crafting?
he's doing crafting.
The continuous fellows.
Do you want yours cold or
I already ate my 2 slices.
Okay.
I'd like to wait till Flair finishes crafting
Yeah, Alakarr is not going on the scouting trip.
until.
I believe
Figured, yeah.
it's just Kerrek and Dimitrii.
Yeah.
You guys make your way out of town. You've got these fancy new horses.
This is everybody.
Nope.
You can steal.
How do I navigate a horse?
Kerrek and Dimitrii.
You have something that is not a horse. It is smaller.
I get a bond
Okay.
with.
Sorry.
Is it a
Yeah,
dog?
there's a pony in there for you.
Alright.
I mean, it's a little spooked by, you, but you can calm it down pretty quick.
Mhm.
No? Yeah, there are 2 horses and 2 ponies, or 3 horses and 2 ponies in there. Did you guys have any preparations you wanted to make, or go straight for it?
I'd like to change out of my finery
You got it.
into more
Okay.
No, I'm gonna just.
outland appropriate vestments.
That's good.
Because I'm going to be over here using the mouse a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, make your way out of town. You follow directions up to the bluff. It's pretty easy to see after a certain point. Like you crest the hill, and it's the most distinguishable feature north of the city, so it's not hard to get there. Roll me perception checks, real quick.
Boom.
Wow.
20.
Wow. 30.
How long does it take us to get out there, by the way?
We should change it so it's not out.
It won't take very long. It's really just like an hour or 2, right? Like it's
So is the sun about setting now?
more or less, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like late evening.
Okay.
Or early evening, excuse me. As you two are riding through the desert, you don't really notice anything bad. I just wanted to make your own perception check so you felt scared.
Excellent.
I gotta keep you on your toes.
Well, I did.
Yeah, so you don't see
scared
anything.
with a nat 20 perception.
Yeah. Dang it! I can't jump them this time.
Aw.
Yeah. So you make it there, pretty uneventful. You see some bunnies. I mean, Dimitrii sees literally everything that has ever existed and will ever exist.
Yeah, I think there is natural gas deposit over there.
Yeah, exactly. You're like you managed to find an oil well, or like an oil bubble underneath the soil.
That would be hilarious. Suddenly my character turns into an oil baron.
Yeah, so goes off more or less without a hitch. You make it there in good time. This is a pretty well-traveled path, but it's through roughish terrain, so it's a solid path, but it's very deserty on either side, and there's a lot of the typical desert scrub.
Okay, so like scrub desert.
Yeah, it's not
Duney.
It's not like the Atacama Desert. Think more like the Sonoran Desert. Like there's still stuff growing there. It's not super thick like a forest, but there's enough ground cover to make a difference.
So Tri-Cities.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say Tri-Cities.
Tri-Cities are like southern Arizona,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Like
So maybe a little
type thing.
Yeah. So you're making your way through, and you find. I mean, with those perception rolls, we'll say the thing that comes of it is you find a very good vantage point where you can see traffic in and out of this bluff. Because it's laid out, essentially, the system is that there is a very large entrance to a building. The cliff side of this bluff.
Hey, Jordan, I meant to do this before we left. I was gonna go and see if I could buy a spyglass.
Actually, I think Gizmark has one laying around.
Okay. I just.
So you should be good. I think there were a couple there. If you take more than one.
I'll take one as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that your employer would definitely be able to provide. So.
Okay.
So yeah, it essentially what it looks like is there's just a big operation here, but you can't tell where all of these people are coming and going to and from. It's one of those situations where like you can see all of the stuff that's going on, but you don't know how it's going on just because there's not really a frame of reference.
Okay. You said it's an enclosed building?
There's a little compound.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, it looks like there's an outbuilding a little bit down the bluff. The bluff is very sweeping. Like, most bluffs it's kind of like just up.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, there's one side has a very clear entrance way. Just kind of slopes downward.
Man-made? Or not?
No, not really. It looked like it was kind of an act of God. Or gods, or whatever it was. And it, not at the bottom, but maybe about halfway up, there's a very large fence and a gate.
Okay.
And there's a post at the gate with somebody, or maybe multiple somebodies in it. You'd have to take a look harder.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like right now there isn't a ton of traffic going through it. However, it's not hard to see that the stone going in and out of that gate is worn down, and like it looks like there is at least some activity here. during the day.
Mm-hmm. So I can see some of the people kind of milling around.
Very few, but yeah.
What are they wearing?
I mean, you should ask. They're all wearing these just horrible, hideous, disgusting blue and yellow
Oh
jumpsuits.
gosh. I'm drawing them out.
They're garish. They're so old fashioned. Like, you would have expected to see this 30 years ago.
What are they armed
And-
like?
Are they armed with?
Yeah, like is it trashy garbage weapons held together with duct tape and hope, or are they like really nice?
They are. That's super hard to see. They are definitely, like guns that probably were at one point nice.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell they look like good weapons that have been handled poorly for a long time.
Okay, so
Okay.
they're functional
It's
but not
okay,
much
they're-
else. And,
Exactly. Yeah. They'll
So there's
pack a punch, but they're not a repair.
So there's some people milling around. Are they doing like going about errands of like cleaning stuff up, or like basically I want to know how many people are there as sentinels, like as guards, keeping watch.
Okay. It looks like there are about 2 or 3 people at the guard post at any one given time, and you guys are staying there all night, right?
Yeah.
Morning and into the following day.
Also, I'd just like to point out, you said that it looks like something people were wearing 30 years ago?
Yeah.
As someone who's only been alive for half that time, I'm assuming
I mean, they had
What was that?
fashion magazines or whatever. They had fashion magazines or whatever.
Not where
Fashion.
I'm from. Not where I'm.
That's true.
Wait, you're like 15?
I am 15.
Holy shit.
He doesn't have quite the
Rats.
lifespan that we.
This is like,
Rats only live to like
yeah,
30 at the latest.
this is something that was in like your great grandparents' closet,
Not mine.
essentially.
I said not mine.
What was that? Yeah, it's good point.
I am almost 6 times as old as you.
Yeah. Keep in mind your character doesn't know my age.
True.
So
That is crazy. How you're
yeah, these are
90?
I'm 85.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my character just assumes everybody who's younger than them, unless they're a dwarf or an elf.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely younger than you, so.
yeah. So
Also,
alright.
so the guards, Jordan, the guards, are they like how disciplined are they? Are they the kind that are like sitting there playing cards and like falling asleep, or are they like super alert? Like what kind of Kerrek looks at like their clothes and stuff because that's what he does. Dimitrii's gonna look at their discipline and like basically give an estimate of how effective of a fighting force they are.
Put it this way. At least 1 or 2 times where you saw everybody there asleep in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
More than once, you saw some sort of goofing off, like all the time, like constantly. And you're pretty sure you saw them, two of them get into an argument so bad that they pulled guns on each other.
All right. Good to know.
So
typical bandit.
yeah, the chances are, they're not an army. They're a militia.
Yeah.
I'd like to look for any evident gaps in the
You guys still scouting?
wall or fence or whatever it is that surrounds the compound. Anything that would allow someone of my size to slip through.
Okay.
Also, looking for the entrance to those tunnel systems that were mentioned.
Roll me perception for that one. And also, if you're going to try to make a sketch of their actual outfits, like to the detail, I'm going to need a perception check for that as well. A separate one.
Okay, so outfits first?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay, and then tunnels.
Sure.
Oh, dang.
That's a critical fail.
You actually do think there's a place you could slip in.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, there's a bush by one end of the fence. Keep in mind, this is a very short fence. Like it doesn't need to be long because there's a cliff on all sides.
Okay.
So it's only probably about 75 feet wide. The spot you're looking at,
How tall is the fence?
like where they actually have 10 feet.
Okay.
Look particularly well constructed though.
Am I able to... From here, am I able to see the outfits close enough to sketch them, or will I need to move closer to complete my sketches?
You can get the sketches done.
But can I get them done to my satisfaction? Or should I-
And you have pretty demanding satisfaction. You can try to move closer if you'd like, but you do see entrance that you don't think exists, like that you don't think is patrolled. You notice like grab bounce. You do notice an entrance that you think.
I'm gonna
On the
move
south
closer through the scrub. I'd like to... This cloak I have is... also, it's also a reversible cloak. And the interior is like an olive green that kind of fits with the surrounding scrub. I'd like to...
It's a stealth check.
I'm gonna... Wow. I'm gonna go with the...
Just out of curiosity.
What was that?
Oh, nice.
You're gonna go with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Good. Okay.
I'm not, he didn't say anything to me, so we're just sticking together. I'd also like to look for,
How far away are you guys?
I mean...
I would say a few hundred feet should be enough to get all the information that you've asked for so far.
That's what I would think. I'd also like to look for gaps in, in their watch. Basically, maybe places where the fence is worn down and broken or weakened. Blind spots for the guards. Entrances, exits, that kind of stuff.
First, let's have both of you make me perception checks. You've been here for a while.
No,
That's better.
I rolled half as good as I did before.
We are closer now, though.
That's true.
For that. Oh. You guys are peering intently at this building. trying to kind of ascertain whatever weak spots there are. Character deep in your notebook. And just right at the last second, you hear the sound of somebody stepping on a tumbleweed. And before you can turn around, you just have this feeling, on the back of your neck. Both of you have been in enough fights to know when there's a gun on you, just kind of instinctively. What are you doing here?
The voice come from behind us?
Yeah, behind you.
I'm gonna whirl around the face, see what.
Yeah.
Also, like. Yeah, no, screw it. You caught me off guard. I'm drawing my gun. Not leveling it at him, but I'm getting it out of his holster.
Yeah. So you see. You don't even know really exactly what to describe. Oh, you don't know a word accurate enough to describe what exactly you're looking at. It's just a half elf man standing there. He's got what little stubble a half elf can actually grow. Looks like hasn't been trimmed in a while. Poking like straw out of his oddly fitting straw hat that he's chosen to wear with his garish blue and yellow uniform. And he's got this nice pistol with just disgusting rust stains and like mud caked on it. And he's just standing there looking angrily at both of you. Say, what do you think you're doing here?
I'm just the same as you.
Finally, someone with the Western accent.
Here.
What was that?
Me and my boys on the bluff.
Well, this isn't the bluff, is it?
Yeah, well, look at them fancy looking glasses.
Well, we're surveyors.
See.
Oh, we are surveyors. Land surveyors.
I don't know about that fancy voice. Scary big man.
Does he have any sort of device on him that could trigger like an audible sound to the rest of the guards that I can see?
Yeah, there's a gun.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, we are land surveyors. We're just taking the lay of the land.
Surveyors.
Yes, that's what the spyglasses are for.
Well, you can go lay on the land over there.
Well, but we were supposed to look at this land over here. And we're outside of the fence. We're not doing anything.
Yeah, but the big boss told me that if I saw anybody out here, I was supposed to shoot them.
And you haven't shot us yet.
Yeah, well, Stingy Dan told me not to waste ammo, too.
And is Stingy Dan your boss?
He's one of them.
Who told you to shoot innocent land surveyors?
That's your cover.
Listen, man. I just point guns at stuff and shoot them. Think about whether they're innocent or not.
I mean,
I assure you, we are innocent.
Wait, did you say aren't or are?
Are.
Okay. Well, I don't think your bosses would take kindly to shooting 2 surveyors for the Adarni military. They know we're out here. If we don't report back, they're going to come looking for us, and then you have to fight the whole army.
What army?
The army that
No,
is
a darn
currently...
army.
the army that is currently
Why would
taking
they
up
care?
residence in Longsaddle. Or whatever it's called. Why am I?
Leatherby.
Weatherby? Leatherby?
Leatherby. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Long Saddle. That sounds like a pretty Western name too.
Yeah.
In Leatherby, you don't know? You haven't seen them down there, walking around in their fancy uniforms?
But we don't go to Leatherby much.
Oh, well, perhaps you should.
Maybe, but that's neither here nor there. Why are you here?
I
told you we're land
we're
surveyors.
land surveyors. Look,
What
you
does it mean?
just lower
Do
your
you not
gun.
know what a land surveyor is?
Oh,
We.
What was that?
to know.
Oh.
Let me spell that out for you. We survey land.
We make.
Well, yeah, I got that much.
We make like maps.
We're making a map of the surrounding area.
Yeah.
Try to map the shoreline of the river.
Is that what survey means?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Look.
Well,
What was your name?
here's I just roll me a diplomacy check, somebody.
Diplomacy
Diplomacy?
or bluff?
Diplomacy or bluff if you feel.
Or bluff.
Yeah, bluff would,
I feel bluff. is
yeah,
more
bluff would be better. I keep forgetting. Oh, jeez.
Lying is my specialty.
Listen, I don't feel very comfortable with people surveying our land and not telling us. I think I'm gonna have to take you back to see Stingy Dan.
No. That's
I'm sweating.
It's not necessary. So, what was your name?
My name?
Yeah. So, I am Dimitrii. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Dimitrii.
Out of one of my eyes, glare Dimitrii so as to convey not to give my name away.
I wasn't. What did he say his name was? Aravel?
Yeah, but my friends, they call me Larry.
Alright. Well, Larry, I feel like we could be friends. I'm gonna call you Larry if you're okay with that. Why don't you put your gun down? You can. We've told you we're surveying the land, so now you know. And we'll just go about our business. We'll leave you in peace.
Listen, fellas, I feel like maybe I should just let somebody know. Do you have like a card or something?
Quick question. Kerrek, what other languages besides Common do you know? That Dimitrii would know that you know?
I don't think. Oh, that you would know that I know?
Have you guys spoken in Gnome before?
I've spoken in Gnomish.
I don't speak in Gnomish. It's probably come up before that I do speak Halfling.
Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of quietly, but like obviously we're right in front of him, so we can't really hide that I'm speaking in a different language to Kerrek. But in Dwarven, I'm gonna say, "Do you speak Dwarven?"
In Halfling, I'm going to respond, "No, I do not speak whatever that is."
I'm gonna try in Gnomish then. Do you speak Gnomish?
Again, probably not.
What are you all saying?
Why
are you asking him if he speaks Dwarven?
Well.
Wait, this guy speaks.
It just occurred to me that I didn't actually ask if he knew Dwarven. Just thought popped into my head. I should check.
How far are we from the nearest guard post right now?
250 feet, 200 feet, somewhere around there. It's not like super far, but pretty far.
Oh, okay. Jordan.
Excuse me, 350 feet. 300 feet.
Jordan.
Yeah.
If I were to get, say, like, hey, your gun isn't loaded or something, so that, and assuming that successfully made him, like, break his like, sight with us, and he'd, like, look at his gun for a moment, could we get a surprise round? Or I suppose
He falls for it, yeah.
Maybe it's something I should just do, and we'll see if it happens. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Larry, a friendly reminder, you know, you kind of need bullets in your gun to actually, shoot.
Yeah. Well, since you didn't only gave me 3, I thought I wouldn't need them.
No, I mean, like,
He pulls 3 bullets out of his pocket, and he just, like, kind of lowers it down.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll start shooting.
You see him, he pulls over the chamber.
Okay. No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like jump on him and blast a round into his chest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're just gonna wrestle.
You're gonna shoot him?
No.
Yeah.
You're gonna shoot him or wrestle him?
I was gonna shoot him.
Okay. It sounded like you said you were gonna jump on him.
No, I am. I jump on him and blast a round into his chest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, roll me an acrobatics for the jump. It shouldn't be hard.
Yeah.
So
There's a flip involved somewhere, I don't know where.
He just wouldn't
Okay,
believe
and then
then you decided to shoot him?
attack roll.
Yeah.
He's flat-footed,
I'd
so...
like to spend a grit point to use my my powder burns ability as well.
This is gonna hurt.
What does
Okay.
that do?
So,
He's flat-footed.
here goes the attack roll. Oh gosh, what just
Oh,
that? Okay, that is not where I put. Jeez. Okay, 1 sec.
you put the feet on.
It said attack notes, but it was like separate from where my attacks were, so I didn't know what. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Oh
yeah, I mean-
things.
Okay, so what does the burn do?
An additional d6 of damage.
Roll me that d6.
Yeah.
Not that it's
Of
gonna
fire
matter,
damage,
but-
and then he has to make a reflex save to not be set on fire.
Well, he's not going to be making any saves anytime soon. So. I mean, is there a save involved in the whole necromancy thing? Because you might make that save soon.
So I'm assuming an attack of 20 hits.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So then 8 damage from the bullet, and 3 damage from fire, and he gets set on fire. And then
Well-
kind of like bounce off of him, like rebounding with the like recoil
Recoil
shot.
gun.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
the
well-
bullets involved.
Yeah, so they're in the like deafening silence of the desert. There's this enormously loud crack as the gun goes off, and yeah, well, yeah,
All right.
I don't know how you serve your Larry, but I think Alaska style seems all right. So yeah, he's real bad.
I'm shooting him too, so.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Oh, and I did make a ranged attack and melee range, so I can invoke an attack of opportunity if you would like to do anything.
Try to wrestle you. Just a little bit.
Okay.
I'll just do
Sweet,
that.
I get my grip point back.
Where is the? I'm on D20 looking at the deeds, and I don't see powder burns there. So I'm wondering if there's like or powder burn. I'm wondering if there's a bunch of things that I'm not.
Powder burn is specific to my archetype.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an archetype thing.
Because a lot of
Yeah,
these
there's
deeds seem,
gunslinger archetypes get crazy.
a lot of these deeds seem kind of useless.
Yeah.
Not useless, but I guess like not very helpful in actually dealing damage. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I
A
would look
lot
at
of
archetypes.
them are more utility based.
I mean, my archetype.
But yeah, if you're
my archetype is gun tank, but I don't get any extra deeds for that.
if you ever feel like because the gunslinger, admittedly, I think part of the reason nobody plays a firearms heavy game is because the gunslinger itself is even kind of trash.
It is. It's
Pretty
been a lot of
disappointing.
only
So if you ever feel
five levels.
like your class isn't doing enough for you, like go ahead and like we can come up with something.
Sometimes it's even better, like, to take fighter just straight through instead of gunslinger.
Yeah, depending on what you want to do. But yeah, Zach, if you ever like if you want to come up with stuff, like there are some other classes that have some cool stuff that are basically based off of the gunslinger. We could work something out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of it is a somewhat disappointing class, to be honest.
Yeah. The
It really is lackluster.
The only real reason to take gunslinger is getting dex to damage at level 5.
Yeah.
And then
I think
some specific builds that can use some of the deeds in interesting ways.
The only reason I would ever consider taking it is because I was in a game that didn't have guns already, and I wanted to have a gun, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a good deal on paper, but then in practice, you end up not being able to do as much as everybody else. So yeah, we can work something out. Look at like the swashbuckler or the what's the other one that's based on the gunslinger?
Cavalier. Because the panache and grit are basically the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because there's panache, grit, and luck.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm only taking.
Is it the brawler?
No, brawler's different.
Brawler is different. That's a rage monk basically.
That's right. It's not vigilante, is it?
Oh, it might be vigilante. I think that one's like the. I think vigilante's like the swashbuckler or the cavalier. Yeah. Isn't that what you?
Gunslinger the rogue deal.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm only gonna be taking another level in this before I go to something else anyway, so it's fine.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Something that will capitalize
on
shooting. High wisdom. Okay.
Go ahead and pick it again.
So if I'm making, here's a question. I'm making a full round attack on this guy because I'm not moving, and I have a cult double action which attacks twice if I do that. I also have a cult armada in my offhand, and I also have the feat rapid shot, which means I get to fire an additional time whenever I take a full round or full attack action.
Do you have 2 weapon fighting?
I do have 2 weapon fighting.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And these are both, I think, considered what?
I would assume light weapons since they're just pistols.
They're the pistols. So that means it's only a -2 to each shot, but the 2 weapon fighting you need for double weapons.
I don't think you can use a double weapon and an offhand. Can you?
Yeah, I think you might have
to. Double weapon counts as like offhanded attack.
Yeah, so I think you could get 3.
Okay.
It sounds like. Yeah.
But
definitely, if we want to work something out in the future, we can say like a feat.
Well, it just means that like it's
We'll get you that
pointless
first attack.
for me to have a second pistol if the if the Armada, if shooting with the double action, if shooting with the double action is counts as my offhand attack, then there's no point in me having a second pistol, and there's not really a point in me having 2-weapon fighting either.
I think the 2-weapon fighting would be for the double weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that counts for the same thing.
It does.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like a -4 and a -8.
Okay. Cool. So I guess 3 attacks. How bad does he look?
Oh, he's dead. He's actually dead.
Oh, he's dead?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize he was dead. Okay. Well, then there's no point in me shooting him.
But if you want to shoot him.
Nope.
How
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
attached
he.
is his outfit. Actually, wait, it's on fire, isn't it?
Kinda. It's at least getting that way.
Do I think I could remove it from him, like, in 2 rounds or less? Like 12 seconds.
In what? Yeah, it probably wouldn't be super hard. You can try.
Alright. What check would that be?
I guess.
Fashion?
Profession.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're just using that profession skill too.
Oh, yeah.
Your abilities are.
Yes, I am. Is 19 good enough to get it off him quickly?
Yeah, as you're doing that, somebody comes around the corner. There's a rock or something. Like you see somebody like pop up, and you hear somebody say, "Blair, are you okay?"
Does he actually show up around the corner?
And you can see him. He's like pretty close to you, like just behind a boulder.
I'm gonna shoot him if I can see him.
Oh my goodness.
Go for it.
Okay, as first attack. Oh, gross.
Ooh.
Wasn't expecting it, and it's a touch attack. So.
Second attack. That's better.
Oh yeah, that's definitely enough. I mean, the first one was enough to kill him, but the second one.
Oh well. Okay, you gotta tell me, because if he died, I'm not gonna shoot twice. All right, just neglect that. Wow, these guys are really
when you
weak.
hear that first shot, it definitely knocks him over,
Keep in mind.
and he doesn't move.
Oh, keep in mind that I have a -2 because I'm technically 2-weapon fighting right now, right?
Oh, that's right. Okay, so the first one actually just barely misses, but the second one will connect.
Okay.
It will do more than enough damage.
So the second shot was necessary. Kerrek, we should probably
Yes, I guess
leave
it
now.
was in this case.
Yeah, you see me holding a slightly charred jumpsuit all nicely folded in my arm.
So you're gonna need to make a reflex save for
Or
I'm gonna
Nicely folded.
beneficial
Awesome.
beneficial bandolier reload 1 bullet into my double action.
Okay, you managed to put out the fire. And it's at this point that you hear like some sort of alarm go off.
let's get out of here.
Let's run back to the horses.
Yeah.
And it,
Carrying a body.
with all the shooting and the panic that's been going on, it doesn't take much to convince them to clear out. And you guys are on the open road, leaving whatever chaos behind you pretty quickly.
Oh, Jordan, roughly how many
You guys
individuals? How many individuals did we see walking around when we were doing our scouting? How many people? Like a rough estimate of the amount of people that we saw.
By the time the morning had rolled around, and by the time like noonday was up, when you guys got cornered,
Oh, it was
in the open.
Oh, I thought it was still
but
night.
it was probably about, like, distinctly, you would guess 25, 30, somewhere in that area.
All right. Well, -2. So that's a start.
But yeah, I will say, you guys definitely saw evidence that there were probably more somewhere. Somebody came by to deliver food, and it was a lot of food, and it didn't look super non-perishable. Like, it looked like you would have to get rid of it kind of quickly.
Okay.
And it was enough food for a fair amount of people.
Okay.
Probably at least, like, you think it would feed 35, 40 people for a week.
What
at least.
direction did the person delivering food come from?
They came from the south, actually, where you guys are.
Really?
From.
Were they?
Yeah, they just followed the road and they took a turn that you hadn't seen before.
Okay.
Because you weren't looking for it, and then just made their way up.
All right.
Do we make it back uneventfully?
Perception?
Perception?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yay.
Yeah, that was just to scare you again. Yeah, you don't see anything. I'd say pretty uneventful. You guys, and you can ask as many more questions as you want. You were there for a long time and didn't really have time to go through everything. Yeah, I can fill you in on some more detail.
Was the food delivery man in the same type of jumpsuit, or was he in a different outfit?
No. In fact, you saw a few different groups of people go up in different uniforms with different deliveries or whatever.
Did he enter the compound, or did he just kind of like drop it off at the gate and leave?
He went right up to it, like right up to the big entryway, and was there for quite a while. And it looked like he was joking around with some people and like went inside at one point.
All right.
Remind me again. We were looking at like a big building, or was it just like a nest of caves and
It's the entrance to a big building, essentially. There were a couple outbuildings, not a lot, but it was what you noticed mostly was what looked like the entrance to a very large building, but you couldn't see the rest of it
because was it obstructed by trees or rocks, or was it underground?
No. It just wasn't there.
Oh. So
it just wasn't above ground, at least.
Okay.
Yeah, you got the impression that it went on, like it was mostly underground.
Gotcha. Did we see like mostly like humans and half elves, that kind of?
I mean, it was the normal milieu. Like, there wasn't anything out of the ordinary.
Okay. No ifrit or rat folks that we could impersonate.
There were a couple obscure groups that represented, but nothing, like not those specific two, but nothing less rare than them. Nothing more rare than them.
Okay.
Excuse me. I'm explaining that badly. I can't use the words properly. That wouldn't have been completely out of the question. It was just, Yeah. Those are kind of oddities.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Maybe a lot of things, but maybe not racist.
We might murder, lie, and steal and cheat, but we ain't racists. We don't care what kind of race you run. If you run short track 100-meter dash, or if you do cross-country running, or if you do ultra marathons, we don't care.
Probably what that means to them, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else you guys wanted to know?
Well, I think that pretty much covers it.
For now, that's pretty good, yeah.
Were they all wearing like exactly the same thing, or was there some kind of did it seem like there was like variation for rank or something like that? Like the people that looked
As
like they
far
were
as you could
giving
tell,
out.
the only variation was cosmetic.
Okay.
This looked like they didn't have very strict uniform standards, or they didn't uphold them very strictly.
Gotcha. Well, I have to say, those guys went down a lot easier than the others that we've been fighting lately.
I'm surprised myself.
Alright.
We also rolled max damage
That's
on
true.
almost every single attack we made.
We
So
did roll pretty good.
Yeah. But, I mean, these guys weren't exactly criminal masterminds or anything. So, yeah, you guys ride back to town. Nothing's really changed. It's still kind of empty, kind of quiet. A lot of soldiers hanging around town, but beyond that, nothing's really changed. Alakarr and Flair, what have you been up to?
Oh, we've been bonding, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I think I've finished up my invention, and I think we've just been like, what's your class, like actual class?
So I am a cleric necromancer.
You're a cleric. Your cleric is your class.
Yeah, I'm a
cleric.
I'm a cleric who delves in necromancy. Yeah, I guess. So you were dead, or did you die?
No, I was unconscious.
Oh, okay.
Literally, that's all it was, and the guy thought I was dead.
Well, you're lucky, because there was this creepy monster thing that he had, and it probably would have eaten you if you'd been really dead.
God, I am... Okay, when Gizmark gets back, I am going deep into my contract and figuring out exactly what other stuff he has in store for insurance purposes.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything, but I do have the ability to reanimate dead. So if you ever died, I could still keep you around.
How gracious.
I mean, it's the least I
About that. So, you see me put my stuff down for a second and reach over. I have a stack of just journals.
Oh, cool.
And I'm looking at it. Okay, so what would benefit you, like items-wise? I've got a few different ideas for different people.
Well, so I work with healing through creating undead. So I can touch you and turn you sort of undead enough that when I blast a healing spell, it would heal you, but if you were just a normal person, it would actually inflict damage on you. So I deal mostly with that kind of undead stuff. If you have anything like that.
Sorry, I just had a thought. When you were talking about raising Claire from the dead if he died,
Yeah.
I just had to think, like, would you put, like, a DNR in your, like, in your will, but it would be like a do not reanimate?
Do not reanimate.
I think I got something that can help you, and I'm flipping through one of my journals. There's this invention called Deathwatch Eyes. Might be beneficial.
I've heard of it.
I could make them for like 1,000 gold. But you gain constant effects of the spell Deathwatch, and you can see basically the life force of every creature, whether it's alive, dead, nearly dead.
Yes.
Construct.
I have studied, but not well enough to learn it. That thing. That would be.
I think that'd be useful for you.
That would be very useful. Yes. Very, very useful. Let's see Deathwatch right there.
I put a check mark next to that one.
Yeah, reveal status of dying subjects within 30 feet. Yes, I would love this. I know lots of things. Oh, it's so interesting to find someone interested in death. This is great. Yeah. So I can animate dead, obviously by Rand, as you see here. I can command him, and then I can also. What I'm really looking forward to right now is getting a severed head that I can use as a sentry skull, which if we went into like a cave or something, I could put it on a spear, and it would sound an alarm or like mentally to me if someone came by it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's my goal right now.
See, there's a few things I want to create. One of them is something called a goblin skull bomb.
What's that do?
Basically, it's shaped like a goblin skull that has a fire inside of it. And when it breaks, the last person to touch it bursts into flames. And if they die, their skull gets turned into a new goblin skull bomb.
Oh, cool. Do you think it would work on undead?
Probably. Actually, yes, it would work on undead.
But like their head would then become that?
Yes.
Oh, cool. See, once an animated undead dies, I can't reanimate them. But I have studied a little bit of necromancy, and later on I plan on learning how to plague my zombies. So when they explode and die, they will actually inflict all those around them with diseases.
I bet. Maybe there's a way I can do that to where it's like enchant them so when they die, they also burst into fire or something.
They will, yeah. I mean, they can't do that right now, but eventually that's what they could do. Is they could totally explode. They'd be basically.
I can't do magical tattoos or anything.
They'd be like walking bombs.
What I'm imagining is just like a scenario in which it's just like one zombie explodes and a pack of zombies that turn into zombie skull bombs that explode in a pack of.
It's a horrible chain of effect.
It's so great.
I do have this scene I can't make it yet. I don't have nearly the amount of funds. And you see me pull out this giant, like, wads of paper and blueprints and everything. And it looks like a train. But there's all sorts of magical sigils and stuff. And I say, I have the schematics for this train that runs kind of like a normal train. But instead of running on tracks, it runs on tracks made of pure force. I used a wall of force spell and a few other magic runes and such. But essentially, you can control where the tracks would make and thus control where the train goes.
Oh, so we could
fly, you can move.
We could use that over the land rather than
Yes.
using horses. Oh, that's super cool.
You could go literally wherever with it.
Wow. What are you?
It would cost about 360,000.
Are you like a wizard? Oh well, we could get that eventually, I'm sure.
Oh,
Are you
yes, I'm a wizard.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, what's a wizard doing working for Gizmark?
I need funds for my inventions.
Oh. Well, is there
Being an inventor.
just any
Well, lady, we have jobs too.
any invention, or like there's one specifically you're working towards, or just
Right now, I have a few different inventions in mind. Right now, that train is like the big head one. I got a few other inventions, some miners to detect potential collapsing tunnels, thus making it safer for them. Poor man's pans that you can need spices to cook foods with, and it will make your food taste good.
Well, I've got things that make food not taste good. I can poison butter in food, so that'd be a good combo.
Yeah, I think we're going to get along great.
I think so too.
Oh, during this time, can we say my tumbleweed went and caught him out?
I'm sure, of course.
Cool.
What's with this thing? Your tumbleweed.
Oh yeah, that's my familiar.
What's its name?
Name's Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Yes.
Well, does Jimmy like undead things?
About him what? What?
Does Jimmy like undead things like Rand over here?
I don't know. He is a tumbleweed.
I've got a familiar too, so, you know.
Getting jealous.
Mine's bigger.
Basically, I'm really cool.
Mine's got
So, Tuff. For the continuous fellows that I'm working on, I need to make a. It says to finish it, I need to make either a. Oh, come on, let me pull it up. Arcana check.
Correct.
Or a spellcraft check.
Spellcraft. Yeah, whichever one you want.
Yeah, it's the same bonus for me, so. Oh, spellcraft.
Yeah, just roll that B2 D20.
Cool. And I am using my my setup and my traveler's any tools, so it counts as mass.
Okay, I think that might only be for the craft check.
Yeah, usually spellcraft, but it can be any other check. So this one is purely magic. So this one's purely magical. So I'm just gonna say spellcraft.
Yeah, go for it.
24. I made it.
4.
It was a DC 10.
My
Yeah.
ring! Thank you.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
So there you go. You've got the continued pillows.
Cool.
Is there an off switch?
Oh yeah.
Did you make my ring?
You're just going to be constantly blowing every paper off of your desk.
Cool. So I can focus on selling that. Then that'll give us a good amount of money. Yeah. That's about all I had.
You had to make my ring.
Did you have any inventions planned for
Make my ring.
the?
For what?
My ring of protection.
Whatever you're gonna do. Right, the ring of protection.
Yes. Let me see.
What color is the ring? The stone.
I cannot create magic rings yet. I can create wondrous items. scrolls.
Oh, I thought you could. I thought that you were. You could.
No, that's the one thing. That's basically the one thing that limits me is I don't need the spells. I don't need a lot of or the caster level or a bunch of other stuff. It just increases the DC. The only like mandatory requirement is I have to have the item creation feat for the specific.
And rings, that's like a $500 mail order course book. It's a lot of work.
I need the forge ring feat.
Oh, okay. So, Justin. Oh my gosh, Jordan. Tuff. So I was under the assumption that we could buy the materials for it, spending only the $1,000.
You can buy the materials for it.
Okay, but
yeah.
Could Spinny make it? And then Jake.
It requires
I don't know.
And then Flare.
It requires a caster level of 7 to create magic ring.
Can I just buy one for $1,000 that's not enchanted? I just want to know how logistically.
A ring.
Yeah.
So I think the actual I don't think it's the making the ring part that's the holdup. I think it's actually enchanting the ring.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Like the whole package deal is the issue. Like I think you could make a normal ring. It's just
I think end game. It's that you're putting so much magic and so many intricate stuff in such a tiny little space that it requires a better level.
Okay.
That's at least the description I'm getting for it.
Okay. So
that's I think how it breaks.
Okay, so then I won't buy the ring stuff right now then, and I won't have you enchanted because it'll just be pointless. So
I could do the Deathwatch goggles when you want that though. That's good.
You can
Deathwatch goggles.
What exactly can you make right now? Is it?
I can make any wondrous I
want some Deathwatch
goggles.
Or
which I think an amulet of natural armor. Is that that's not a...
That's a wondrous item.
There's not a separate... Yeah. So if you want more AC, that might be the way to go.
Okay, well, I will definitely take the Deathwatch goggles for 1,000 gold. Is that what you said?
Yep, 1,000 gold.
Can I,
yes.
make you go down to 800 gold?
No, it's not. It's for the material.
Frick.
Yes.
Can I try to bargain with the guy?
Unfortunately, that's not a price I can reduce. If you want to, I would say the best way to do that would be to go to bargain with whoever you're getting the materials from.
That's what she meant.
Yeah.
I think.
Tuff, can I do that? Can I make a diplomacy to?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Do you know where to get the materials? What do you need?
No.
Oh, wait, I just realized. I have a trait that gives me 5% off the price of crafting.
Oh.
So
That's
I can reduce that by 50 gold. I can make it for 950.
Oh, hey, cool. Let's do that. I don't know if my thing would work very well. So I get 50 more. Can I do that, Tuff? Is that allowed?
That's fine.
Okay, will you make that?
That's totally fine.
Yep, it'll take me 2 days.
42. Cool.
Okay.
Or 1 day.
Actually,
that's a... fuck it, I can make that in 1 day, because I can just increase the DC by 5, so... That's a DC of 15.
Cool.
And my bonus is plus 14.
Did we say that he does that while they're gone?
So about midday, probably.
So I can make it in a day. I can do that tomorrow for you.
Well, since we're just waiting for people to get back.
Yeah, because it's basic. I think it's the end of the day now, isn't it?
No, it would be about the middle of the day, because it's been 1 day already now.
Okay.
Oh, right, they went out at night.
So you...
Yeah, we went out at night.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would have finished that continuous spell with the previous day then. So yeah, I could do it for today.
I would make a really good doctor.
I've got good news and bad
boy.
news. Bad news is you're gonna die. The good news is I'm gonna raise you from the dead to serve as my minion.
The bad news is you're gonna die. Good news is not for long.
Alright, we'll just wait it out. I'm gonna ask
Bad-
Flare. So, what's your backstory with the hair and the flames?
Oh, well, you see, my dad was an adventurer, and when he was younger, out adventuring, he came across a fire spirit, Fae. Kind of fell in love, boned, and out came me. My mother, being Fae and a fire spirit, dropped me off to my father, who I love my dad dearly, but he didn't give up his adventuring life, so I traveled around with him. I'm 85 years old, but I traveled around with him.
Whoa, you're 85 years old? How long do you live for?
Yeah, I'm 85.
How long can you live for?
I've run some tests and diagnostics. Equivocally, I'm a 21, 22
Oh, okay.
in human years.
Crazy. That's kind of similar in my boat, being a drow. I can live for centuries.
Ah, cool. So we're in the same boat then. So I spent like my early childhood, i.e., like up until I was 30, with my dad adventuring, and then after he passed away, I was still a little kid. Got adopted by an old man who was an inventor, very eccentric, but lovable guy. Taught me everything I know about mechanical contraptions, crafting magic items, and learned everything I can from him. He's what got me into science. And yeah, I stayed with him until he was unfortunately old, and he passed away a few years ago, and so I struck out on my own, and now I'm here.
Cool.
What about you?
Well, I don't have parents because they were killed when I was 10, and I was killed too. And then my god raised me from the dead 3 days later and let me suffer all these years by myself, having to just kill for food, honestly. And I'm looking for whoever tried to kill me and who killed my parents, so that I can make them suffer as I have suffered. And animating dead is the best way that I know how to make an army against that. So it's going to be a lot of fun when I find that person.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, do I feel any pain in my neck? Did we lose Jordan? We lost Jordan. I can't hear him.
I can
hear you.
Oh, can he hear us? Can you hear Jordan? Hang on.
Good.
Oh, there we are.
I can hear Jordan now.
There
Sorry.
you are.
Okay. Man, you missed it.
What'd you say?
When you asked Flair about his backstory, I immediately started looking up acoustic Linkin Park songs to play over the top of your backstory.
Oh, really?
or the background.
Was it there the whole time? Were you playing music?
Did anybody hear it?
I
heard it, yeah.
But it was cutting out like every half verse.
Crap. Well,
What song did you play?
it was an acoustic version of Nah.
Yes!
Nice.
I love it. Thank you. Oh, I didn't hear it at all. I'm so sad. Oh, that is so cool.
Oh, dang it. It was actually pretty good. But anyway.
Play just a little bit. I want to hear just a little bit of what it sounded like.
It's actually very good. Now just imagine Alakarr talking about his parents' death with this. I thought it was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds like
So
a
you-
little angsty.
So you and your parents died. Your god brought you,
Yeah,
and now you're here.
not really my god by choice, but yeah.
Yeah, you basically anytime you talk about this subject, Alakarr, it's just like it's kind of like you feel whatever hate you feel, and somehow you feel that kind of reflected back onto your like. It's not you hating you. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But there's also like another energy like pushing that on you. Like you feel like it's weird to feel somebody else's emotions directed at yourself, but you know exactly what that feeling is.
Is there a way to? Do you want that connection to your god, or do you want to pray?
I'd rather die, but I didn't. So now this is just my life. He lets me suffer. He doesn't help me. He just doesn't care about me. So I hate him. But that's where my power comes from. So it's like, I just make the best of what I've got. But I don't like it.
You see Flair kind of like tear up at the "don't want to live" part. And
Oh no!
I promise we're gonna help you through this. If you ever need to talk or somebody to have listened.
Okay. Thanks.
Flair's also very awkward about this and has no idea how to really deal.
They're both very awkward.
He's just gonna offer you a magic item.
Okay.
His way of making people feel better is just make something.
Yeah. Oh, well, thanks for caring, I guess.
So those Deathwatch goggles. That's basically what I'm spending the entire day.
Cool. I'm stoked.
Yeah, and Kerrek and Dimitrii, you guys are probably gonna get back like a little bit before midday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't it only an hour?
Yeah, but you were there for some of
I
the
guess I was
morning.
there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you roll back into this. Somehow you know that Alakarr is the one that's sad, but for some reason Flair is the one that's crying.
Shut up. I don't want to talk about it
Your
anymore.
mic's up. Your mic's up, Jacob.
You would also notice that as I'm the only one crying, the tumbleweed you saw here, same exact position. To you, it hasn't really moved, but part of it is now covered in blood.
Okay.
Blood?
Are your tears like liquid fire or are
Are
they
you
water?
like petting your tumbleweed?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like they're actual water when they roll down my face, but they quickly like evaporate into a puff of steam.
Okay.
Why are you crying?
That's kind of nice.
No reason.
Someone cut
And I just get immediately back into work, which now I'm making something.
What did you say to him? Don't be making me cry.
You think this is my fault? Rand, you're the only one who understands me.
Am I wrong that you said that you didn't say something to him and that is why he's crying?
We were bonding, I think is what they call it.
So you
Yeah,
said
we were bonding.
something to him.
I said something and he cried, yes. I didn't hurt him.
I didn't say you hurt him. I just asked you what you said to him.
I said words and he cried.
Ugh, very well.
We're friends.
Anyway,
so
we
Yes, we are friends.
yeah, see, we're friends.
Everything is good.
It's all
Okay.
good. I don't know why he's crying.
Okay, alright.
I've never cried.
Sense motive. Is he telling the truth?
Oh man. I've never cried. Sense that motive.
Yeah,
I
critical fail.
have never cried in my life.
Awesome.
You're actually positive Alakarr is crying right now. You're crying. Everybody's crying. No. As far as you know, Alakarr has never cried a day in his life.
Nope. Not a
Well, anyway, Kerrek and I have got back from the bluff. Good news and bad news.
day. Yeah, what happened?
Good news is they have 2 less people in their band. The bad news is they still have a lot of people in their band. The good news is they're not very disciplined or very strong individually.
Do they have uniforms?
Actually, they do.
I hold up a somewhat,
Oh.
heavily singed blue and yellow jumpsuit.
Can you mend that?
Oh.
I can do better. I can make
Did you
more.
What's the base
Oh,
like?
I'll search it. Yeah, why not?
The base has a 10-foot tall
I
fence,
think you have mending. You should have mending.
not terribly well made, but it's a fence. And then there are some outbuildings and whatnot, and then it looks like there's one major entrance into the underground network. And it is all backed up against the river, so.
Is the okay? So the underground, the entrance, big like main entrance to the is that? How do I want to say it? Is that like in the ground, like you have to open the doors up, or is it like against the wall? So the doors they're like normal vertical.
Jordan,
I guess what is the horizontal angle of the door?
yeah, is it a cellar type door, like to a root cellar, or is it
It's a normal door.
a normal door? Okay, yeah, it is a normal door.
Okay. Josh, any
What was that? You cut out.
anything else about your any other?
Well, like I said, they're not very disciplined. Just about the only thing they have going for them is there's probably somewhere between 30 and 40 of them.
They have
Yeah,
a decent supply of non-perishable food entering that place.
Yes. But it's non-perishable, so they're probably not well situated for a siege. Not that we have the manpower for it, but we could probably stop the food.
We could also try to intercept their next food supply.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
jot down some more notes, and I started actually like going and doing calculations.
Yes, we could intercept the food shipments. They're not very disciplined. They do not keep a very good watch. It was, I think, by luck that they found one of them found us outside, but he was very quickly dispatched, and him and one other.
How big were the doors? Like wide. Like are they two like
Like French doors?
3 feet across, or are they like big, solid, like 10?
Jordan,
Like how big were?
Jordan, was it like
Sorry, we're in and out.
was it a typical
They were large.
like a barn door?
Not quite that big, but somewhere between there. A normal door, probably 5 feet wide. Yeah, per door.
Wide
And it
enough
was big double
to
doors.
wide enough to accommodate a wagon?
No, the wagon didn't go in. It looked like they had special carts.
Which
Okay.
the wagon carrying the food was offloaded on the carts.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty.
Jot down some more notes.
Yes. As far
Actually, that doesn't screw that plan. Never mind.
as far as escape routes, it kind of looks like while the positioning itself is defensible and they have a good height advantage for looking at the surrounding area, they've kind of backed themselves into a corner. They can't jump off the cliff into the water. That's too high. And it's only about a 75-foot span of area, of land that actually goes out to where their building is. So
I think I have an idea. I've been crunching some numbers, and how often did this supply, or how long do you think this would last?
well,
About how long would the amount of food they received last for the like 40 or 50 people we assumed?
looked about a week.
About a week.
Yeah.
Okay, so going off the assumption they get food about once.
And
We'll need about
considering that most of it was, not preserved food, they'd probably, with 30, 40 people, they'd start feeling the sting of a siege pretty quick. Even if we intercepted just 1 or 2 shipments. Might be a way to lure them out, so they'd have to go and get their own food. We could take them apart piecemeal.
Well, I'm thinking we
Hijack a shipment and use it to get in.
But
no, I'm thinking we play the long game.
Oh.
See, there's a I can make a few items to take about 2,000 gold for. I'll do 5 times 10, about 2,000 gold for 10. Or 1,000 gold if we just want 5, but I can make some feather token trees. Judging by the width of those barn doors, we can plant them right in front of the doors, right at the end of when that food would be running out. Drop them in there for a solid week, maybe 2. They'll be very weak, assuming they have supply of water and don't die from dehydration. See them in there for a few days, see how they're feeling. Then take the trees down and go on in. They're weak.
Jordan, what was the terrain like? I'm guessing like that's typical for like a cliffside that's been worn down by the river and stuff like that. I'm assuming that it's sandstone or similar.
Yeah, it's not very hard stone. You couldn't. I mean,
Did we see
there might be something harder in there, but as far as you could see, it was all pretty soft.
Did we see any other entrances beside that main entrance?
You couldn't see any. Well, actually, Kerrek thought he saw that one gap in the fence, but beyond that,
I meant like entrances specifically into the underground network.
not that you could see now.
Okay.
If you did more investigation, maybe, but
Well,
yeah.
blocking the doors might forestall them for a little bit.
What if I poisoned the food?
We could do that too.
That's an idea.
But it would take a lot of poison to incapacitate 30 to 40 people.
Does anyone have a spell that could handle poisoning food?
Me! Pick me! Pick me!
Yes, Alakarr?
I can poison food and water.
How much food and water?
1 portion per spell. So it would take a while to do a bunch, but...
How many times can you use that? Is there a limit?
Yeah, so hang on. Let me see exactly.
I'm sorry.
We're figuring like what it would take to have Alakarr poison a shipment of food.
So
I will say
it's a cantrip.
there is a very special there's a very special mechanic in this setting called craft ritual.
Oh.
I can do 4.
Would allow you to maybe
That would allow what?
beef up the effects or the duration or
The amount.
amplify a spell in some way
Yeah.
based on, you know, if you can pump more extra power into it, what you use, what kind of things like. Yeah, just throwing that out there.
That's an option.
It's an option. I will say that. Well, you say that it would Flair take 2,000 gold, 1,000 gold to make those tokens. Probably take some extra resources to.
I can do 1 cubic foot of water, which contains 8 gallons and weighs 60 pounds, and I can do 4 of those a day.
Right.
So we could just poison their water, which is something that they will all be drinking.
It's very true.
The food, it would be obvious. The water would kind of be too, because it's going to turn darkish black. But we could make it so it's like their ale.
They will be expecting water. I'm still I'm still liking the idea.
You think you saw with the food shipment, there were a couple big jugs of something. Like a couple big barrels of whatever it was.
I'm still liking the idea of taking the food. Then we can use it for ourselves or sell it.
I like this plan.
And the starving enemy is a weakened, desperate enemy. Doesn't require any more resources. We just ride up, shoot the person in the cart, and take the cart.
We do also have. I could procure outfits that allow us to infiltrate. Should that be desirable?
You can search that uniform.
Yeah, I'd like to search the uniform. That'd be great.
Okay, roll me a perception check.
Do I need to roll to search it since I have it?
If you just want to take your time, you can go ahead.
I'll just take my time.
Okay, you find like half-chewed tobacco.
Great.
Outside of a tin. You just touch it with your bare hands.
Fantastic.
You find what looks like 2 silver coins, so score there.
Woohoo.
And most importantly, you find a name tag and what looks like a badge with the name Larabelle on it.
What does it say?
It looks like it says Larabelle on it, and then crossed out, and then it says Larry over the top of that.
His name
Nice.
is Larabelle.
So yeah, I'm assuming I have all the information I would need to like whip up some adequate replicas of this.
Yeah, you're set now.
Obviously, one would work on me, but if we decided to try to use a food shipment to get in, I could always just hide in like a sack of flour.
Oh, that is true. I'm hoping it doesn't come to that.
Yeah. I think you're right though. I think starving them out is going to be the best option.
They say that armies march on their stomachs. If their stomach isn't full, then they don't march and they don't fight. Besides, I noticed that they're not the most harmonious of groups. I don't know if you saw, but there were two that drew guns on each other at one point. It could be that the strain of not having food could cause them to tear themselves apart, so to speak.
What is our time frame on when we need these guys out of there by?
Didn't really give you one,
Okay.
but it seemed like the more time you spent doing it, the more time they were going to spend trying to turn Leatherby into whatever they wanted it to be.
So the sooner we get them out of there, the better.
Yep.
Probably, yeah.
So we don't necessarily have the multiple weeks.
Well, if I know anything about militaries, and if I know anything about the Adarnan military, it takes a long time for things to get moving. Lots of, what's the word, bureaucracy to get through.
Not to mention, as far as you could tell, their water came in there too. And that's, for the hardiest of trolls, that's 5 days tops.
Yeah.
If you just plan it for the day after they get a food shipment, they're in some serious trouble.
So yeah, if we see even one shipment and then watch them for a few days,
Yes.
and then move in.
And besides, we can use the food that we take to keep up our provisions while we watch them.
Mm-hmm. That first rise that we were watching from seemed pretty safe from eyes, right?
It didn't get spotted until you moved out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could set up camp in the defilade on the other side of the hill so they can't see anything.
Oh yeah.
And then use the crest of the hill as the watch point. We're also going to need to watch the road a little farther away so they don't know where the shipments are being taken from.
Yeah.
We can't exactly hijack their food 500 feet from their front gate.
Yeah.
That's true.
So could we direct them where we want them to go if we're wearing the uniforms of them and be like, oh, this way, come this way? Or are these people that are on the cards probably people that have been there before?
The one that we saw looked like it's a regular shipping route that he does. He was very familiar with the guards at the gate. I don't think that would work.
Okay.
I think we're just going to have to take it by force. Or at least coercion. But I have found that a gun pointed at your head tends to motivate most people to do what you want them to do.
That's about right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I actually have somewhere to be pretty soon, so I might have to duck out now.
Okay.
Can I just quickly make a roll for the Deathwatch goggles so we can just finish that up?
What do you think?
Cool. So DC 15. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, wow. Question.
You couldn't have.
You really didn't want to fail that.
Unless, if I had crit failed, then yeah, but.
What do they look like?
I think it's the match. It's 15 or more.
Yep. So yeah, here are your goggles.
What do they look like?
They are, so they're pretty, I started with a base of just standard goggles. They're kind of steampunky. They're all black. A little bit bulky, but all around the frames there's these purplish glowing runes with a band that goes around your head.
Cool. So super goth punk.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, basically.
Brand is undead, guys. Did you know that?
Yes, we were aware.
So yeah, now you have constant Deathwatch available.
That is so cool. So I can see when people are...
You can see how close they are to death. Status of dying.
Status of dying subjects. Dead, fragile, with like 3 or few hit points left. Healthy, undead, or neither alive nor undead. Like a construct! I could tell! I can see through any spell or ability that allows creatures to feign death. I feel so powerful. I'm just looking at all of you guys. Jordan, are any of them not healthy or alive?
Any of your cohorts?
Yeah, making sure that they're all healthy, or if they're undead or a core construct.
As far as I know.
You guys aren't undead, are you?
I'm at full hit points, so.
Yeah, same.
We're all healthy.
You look great.
You don't even got anything surprising out about Peg. She's pretty normal too.
Cool. I can't wait.
She's a construct.
I can't wait to try these on Spinny.
Also, the tumbleweed Kerrek. The tumbleweed just rolls over to you. It doesn't have eyes, but you get the sense it's looking at you.
Oh, cool.
Oh no!
And it's just watching.
Because he's a rat.
That's not a good thing.
Oh, the tumbleweed's looking at the rat because it eats rats. Oh no!
It's just sitting there and watching you.
Is that thing?
I'm just gonna like
construct?
snarl at it.
No, it's carnivorous tumbleweed.
It is its back.
Hey, does your thing have? Jacob,
Can my tumbleweed?
What is your
It
tumbleweed?
just rolls back.
But hold on.
Jacob, is your tumbleweed alive, undead, or a construct?
Does it have 3 or fewer hit points?
It's definitely alive. The hit points, let me check that. It has more than 3 hit points.
Okay, so it looks alive. I'm like, huh, interesting. I never knew tumbleweeds could be alive.
Yep, it's alive.
That's pretty cool. Wow, I am going to use this a lot. This is awesome. This is only within 30 feet, but how cool is this? Ah, that would have really helped if when I was downstairs in the morgue.
So, Claire,
Yeah.
That's really
is a hat of disguise within your capabilities?
Yep, definitely.
Okay.
Let's see. Hat of
Not
disguise.
funds yet, but in the future.
Let me see how much that would
Also,
be.
question for you, Jordan, regarding the hat of disguise. So it uses the disguise self spell, which says you can seem 1 foot shorter or taller than fat in between. You can't change your creature type, but you can select another subtype. So I'm assuming by like creature type, it's like referring to like humanoid. But
Yeah.
I'm assuming since I am a humanoid, I could use that hat of disguise to look like a halfling instead of a brat.
You could turn into a halfling, you could turn into a human. I think even like goblins
Okay.
are humanoid. Yeah.
I crunched the numbers for you and
big.
just that'd be 855. for custom cherry.
I'll let you know when I'm ready for it.
Sweet. Just don't. That.
What would that do to my tail?
Would
Would I have to like manually hide my tail, or would my tail be like invisible?
I think your tail would be, for all intents and purposes, invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you kind of get to choose what you appear as.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I mean,
And as far as I know, it worked.
so I mean, like your snout would stick out farther than a halfling's face, so it would just
Yes,
make
it
your
would.
snout invisible too.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it invisible, or is it like, I thought it actually like transformed you?
That's alter self.
Oh, okay.
There
Okay,
is
got
a
it.
greater hat of disguise that utilizes alter self, but that is much more.
Okay, so yeah, you would still have the tail. You'd probably have to hide it so nobody stepped on it.
No one stepped on it, yeah. Which I'm used to doing that, so.
I mean, unless you just want to leave it flapping around.
And then I'd have to like keep track of where my snout is so that people don't like hit it walking past me. Alright.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool.
All right. Well,
Cool.
Spinny will be here next time. Woo woo.
Mm-hmm. That'll be good.
Yeah, we'll have the full house.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
All
See you
right,
guys.
folks.
Cool.
Yeah, catch you later.
Sweet.
Catch you later.
Sounds good. See ya.